So with the dog snoring away in the background. I'll need to do a video where I grab her and just pull her up there. It's been years since I've done it, but at least that way you can hear what the snoring individual is like. You know, put a face to the snores and the, what is that noise in the background? Yeah. So here we are. I'd shared this 6 hours ago, apparently. And it was from the book called Committee of 300 by a gentleman called Dr. John Coleman. So, I mean, AI. Yeah. The Committee of 300 is a conspiracy theory alleging a secret elite group controls global politics, finance, and industry to establish a new world order. Well, what a conspiracy that is. But when you look around you, you know, you've got to actually take a step back and think about this. I mean, after all, our own politicians seem to be hell-bent on destroying our Western civilizations. And they keep telling you, people, that anybody who's against that and going, hey, have we thought this through? Well, they're racist, they're homophobic, they're transphobic. And what you're seeing is literally eugenics, although I think I'd seen a comment, actually, from somebody, and they went that it's not eugenics, it's dysgenics, I think it was the point that we're making. And I had to, you know, when I looked into dysgenics, I couldn't disagree. And it's an interesting definition. Somewhere. All right, there we go. Here we are. Actually, what's being pushed in Europe in particular is dysgenics, promoted as eugenics. You should look into that. Anyway, where am I going? So, euthanasia for the terminally ill and the aged shall be compulsory. Yeah. Euthanasia for the terminally ill and the aged shall be compulsory. Now remember, always masquerading as Care Bears. What have you been seeing lately? Because remember, this is from the 90s. Assisted dying. Because we care. Look at Canada. The MAID Project. Holy shit. Program. And you still think about C.S. Lewis's that hideous strength. And, you know, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. And, you know, yeah. So euthanasia for the terminally ill and the aged shall be compulsory. No city shall be larger than a predetermined number as described in the work of Kalergi. Now think about 15-minute cities and 20-minute neighbourhoods. Still ties into Agenda 21, but where did Agenda 21 come from? I keep saying to people, stop doing Agenda 2030, Agenda X, Y, and Z. Fuck off. Call it what it is, Agenda 21. That was 1992, and you're seeing the rollout since then of Agenda 21. You can keep putting different names and dates ahead, and people naively think, wow, we've still got time. We're literally seeing it in real time being rolled out amongst us, and not to our betterment. Essential workers will be moved to other cities. I keep telling you about things like the ghost cities in China. Why, oh why, would they build scores? That is, for those who are unaware of that, that's 20s. Score, 20. Scores of these ghost cities. Nobody in them. Many have Western shop fronts. There's nobody in them. Now you're being told the lie, the excuse that, it was all based on pyramid scheme, financial X, Y, and Z. But think about the bigger picture in Agenda 21. If you're wanting to displace vast amounts of Western people to, for example, places like in China, because at least let's put these cities to good use. Honestly. Seriously. I also think of King Camp Gillette's the human drift, 1894. I would have said that was one of the earliest examples of Agenda 21. And yes, the same family with the razors, yeah. King Camp Gillette, the human drift. Yeah. I could also think of Fritz Lang's Metropolis, 1927, Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, The Fountainhead, a few others. Yeah, look, lots of people have been talking about it, but few people are warning it out. So, as described in the work of Kalergi, essential workers will be moved to other cities if the one they are in becomes overpopulated. Other non-essential workers will be chosen at random and sent to underpopulated cities to fill quotas. I keep telling people, and I have for years, it's about shredding the West. It's not just about sterilizing them with various chemicals, and nobody questions. Oh wait, why is the testosterone level, estrogen level? Well, why in the hell and shit do we need IVF? It's what the flying fuck is happening? We are in this technocracy, and honestly, we are not dealing with 1% of society. I mean, even look at the food industry alone. How many occultists right throughout there do you think are involved in that? Then think of politics, then think of judiciary, police, anything. It's actually roughly about 10% of society. We're dealing with an occult, death cult, religion. So at least 4 billion useless eaters shall be eliminated by the year 2050 by means of limited wars, organized epidemics of fatal, rapid-acting diseases and starvation. And then think of COVID. Fuck me, seriously. Energy, food, and water shall be kept at subsistence levels for the non-elite, starting with the white populations of Western Europe and North America, and then spreading to other races. The population in Canada, Western Europe, and the United States will be decimated more rapidly than on other continents. But you have to set up the dumbing down, the lower IQs, the less skill level. Meanwhile, telling the public, look, if only we tax the billionaires. Look, the billionaires have got options. They're there. Look, they're secure. It's like royalty. Look, it's these bastards. These fuckers are well taken care of. They've got loads of security. Even if they're looked at as villains, they're not giving a flying fuck. The last thing they're worried about is you. Same with the billionaires. They're quite happily like, yeah, it's just us evil rogues. You focus on that. Just don't focus on this this network that works out about 10% of society that's hell bent on bringing this about. It's astounding. This is why you look at socialism always leads to communism, always leads to despotism, because people historically have always been groomed to look in the wrong places. As always, I could do a better job. Believe me, I could do variations on this vid, but anyway, share, care, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.